Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another ARK video. Today in this video, folks, I'm going to show you how to tame a Morellatops. Now, this is a creature that you find on Scorched Earth, and you will want to use the regular kibble. The simple kibble is what I meant. And it is a herbivore, but you can also use veggies and, of course, the berries. Berries take longer than veggies, so do bear that in mind, and kibble is the quickest. You do need a saddle to ride it, and of course you can use a bear trap to trap it. So this is what you will need for the purpose of crafting a saddle. And if you really want to use a bear trap, which is a bit more complicated because this is a starting creature, you will have to be level 31 for that. That's the only way to actually pin it down long enough so that you can knock it out. You can't kite it into a trap because rare flowers do not work unless it is in a group with another Morellatops, otherwise it will run off. Now this is quite interesting because I remember it long ago. It used to be aggro or aggressive when you did hit it. It did want to come and attack you, but now it just wants to run away. Same thing happens if you want to use the rare flower. Everything else will attack you. The Morellatops will run away unless it is basically close to another Morellatops. So this is a thing that has changed. So the best, easiest way to do it is to make sure that the area the Morellatops is in is fairly clear of anything dangerous, and by that I mean, of course, any carnivore. Basically any carnivore will attack a Morellatops that is a starting creature. You can use a long neck rifle and the darts to knock it out. You can also, of course, use the crossbow with the arrows to knock it out. The crossbow and the trank arrows do a lot more damage, and sometimes you will get a bit of a godsend where it gets stuck in certain things, so you can land a couple of shots on it before it decides to run away. Now this method and this way of doing it is a bit more complicated and tricky because it can end up running into a dangerous area. But if you spend a couple of minutes just clearing out the area, you should be alright. Do bear in mind though, the game does have a habit of spawning in random creatures, and you may end up being attacked by something you don't want to be attacked by. It does help if you have a mount that you can ride and hopefully shoot off its back. That does actually help a lot more. But if you don't, you can do it on foot as well. As you can see, it doesn't take a lot of arrows to knock out, so a torpor isn't all that great. Once you knock it out, you can then start feeding it whatever you choose to do so. And remember that, of course, it is a herbivore, so you will want the, I forgot what it's called, the simple kibble, so not the regular kibble. You can use berries, out of which the meho berries are the best to use, and you can also use veggies on it. Now, obviously, in my case, I am taming a high level 1, so that means I will want to starve it out before I put anything in it, just simply because it does have a lot of enemies, and I don't want to lose any of the taming effectiveness if it does get hit. Basically, if it gets hit whilst it's knocked out, it will lose taming effectiveness, and I want those extra levels and extra stats on it. See if I can place that there. Now, a good way of protecting your Morellatops is by placing down these spiked walls, and there is a good reason to have a Morellatops, especially in the desert. So I'll just wait for it to starve out. Now, of course, for this I've had to use a mod simply because of time constraints. But once you've starved it out, you can then just put the food in its inventory. Now, for this, I do recommend using Dodo Dex, which is a really good app to use. It will tell you how long you need to starve out a creature for, how much you need in terms of resources, and what resources you will need to tame it. And it's also actually very useful if you are breeding dinos for stats. So, multiple uses for this app. You can find it both for Android as well as iOS devices. Now, I normally like to pick up my stuff. Obviously, again, I'm using S Plus here, so I recommend you destroy the spiked walls. You can rebuild some of them from the materials that you gain from destroying the spiked walls. As you can see, it does harvest wood, but it does not. Oh, it does also harvest berries. I was confusing it with the thorny dragon. Now, what does it do? It can drink water. It is basically a camel, as you can see, and it just drinks water and tops up its water meter, water bar, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is useful because in the desert, especially on scorched earth, you can have a constant water supply and be actually quite far from water. It does have a nice drinking animation, which is totally cool. I really like this. And the higher the level of Morellatops that you have, the more water it can store. So in its radial wheel, as you can see, the orange options will give you basically water options, and it will allow you to top up your water canteen. So how do you do that? It's quite simple. You just basically get some empty canteens, access its inventory, and then pretty much use the radial wheel to top them up. So I'll show you exactly that right there. And as you can see right there, the empty canteens have been filled up with water, and the Morellatops is pretty much out of water. Now, it does gain water, as you just saw there, from rain, so that is a massive perk for this creature. Or you can just take it close to a water source and let it drink. So definitely a useful creature to have. These are its attacks, so left and right click right here. Basic attacks. It's not going to do anything big, I suppose, in terms of damage or any of that sort of stuff, but it will help you defend yourself from creatures such as raptors and Perlovias and stuff like that. Bear in mind, the Perlovia will, of course, pretty much knock you off its back. Other than that, the creature is a starting creature. It is a basic creature, easy to knock out. It does have okay HP. It does have good carry weight, as you can see right there, and it has its uses, but it does not. It's not a creature that is end game or mid game. It is still cool to have around, and I personally like the way this creature looks, especially its head. It looks very Triceratops-like. I think it's one of those creatures that you kind of want when you start out in the game and then don't use later on. So if you don't need it, then I suppose don't waste your time with it. A raptor is probably better than a Morellatops, although the raptor has poorer carry weight, generally speaking, but it is more useful. Also, because it is a herbivore, it does tend to take a lot longer to heal, whereas carnivores heal a lot quicker, and all you need is just meat, and meat is plentiful in the game. That is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful. If you have, please don't forget to support me in the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. And of course, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.